Good morning. It is day 75. I am sitting in my tent waiting for it to ease off the rain before I pack up. So yesterday I had a late start. Quite enjoyed being at the, well, I'll say a hut, but really it was a house with electricity and running water. Quite nice for a very reasonable price for Norway. So I left at 20 to 12, very short road walk and then up into the hills, and the minute I got clear of the bushline it started raining, and it rained hard continuously. Though thankfully there was only a short time where it was head on. Most of the time it was slightly from the side, which is a nice change from normal. And my rain jacket has now given up. It cannot cope with Norway anymore. So, especially around my stomach, got absolutely saturated, and my sleeves and a little bit down my side. So it was cold, wet, miserable. Couldn't see anything, there was no view, it was all just white around me. So head down plodding to get over that hill and down to a track. So that was nearly 10k in those conditions. And for some reason I'd looked at my map and I thought it was downhill from there, but it wasn't. There was another huge hill back up into the wind. And started to get quite cold. Thankfully it then dropped down in some trees where I put on another layer, and then there was a long plod on a gravel road. I was looking at a possible campsite by a river, but I saw on my map a symbol that looked like a campground, so I thought I'd push on a little bit further and see if I could get a cabin. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what that symbol is, but it's not a campground. So I knocked on the door of a house and asked them about the campground. Got very confused looks from them. They said there was a flat bit of ground near an old house, which could be what was on the map. But they offered to dry some clothes and pointed me out, so I asked them to refill some water. Obviously they talked and then offered me a spot on their lawn, and to come into the house to have my dinner and warm up and dry everything, which was fantastic. Lovely couple with 3 children. The oldest boy, his English was pretty good, so we could have a talk, had a look at their sheep. Yeah, so it was a much more comfortable evening. They did offer in the end for me to sleep in the lounge, but my tent was already up, so I stayed in my tent. Then this morning they invited me in for breakfast. Got to put on my dry clothes, and they've now left for work and for school. I've packed everything up in my tent, and I'm just waiting for a break in the weather to pack my tent up. I'm not feeling overly enthusiastic. I've had 2 quite long days. I had a 46k day and yesterday was 36 despite the late start. And I've got a bit of time in the forest up and over a hill, but I should be largely protected. And then I am due to climb up to 1100 meters in the open, which I'm not enthused about. So I think I'm going to do a short day and camp at the bottom. The weather forecast is meant to be improving, so I don't really want to go up this big hill in this crappy weather. So yeah, so I'll try and camp at the bottom, and there appears to be a restaurant down the bottom, so I might be able to get another hot meal. So, sitting in my tent, waiting for the rain to stop. So I sat in my tent Just waiting for a break in the rain to pack up. So I waited and waited, but finally I'm packed up, on my way, 10:20. So now walking along the road for a few K to the next town, accompanied by the sound of the bells on the cows and the sheep. It is so nice to be in dry clothes. So really appreciated being able to dry my clothes last night and make a start. Would have been pretty miserable starting out in the wet clothes. So yeah, a few K on this road, then up into the forestry, up and over, down the other side, a few more K on that road, and hopefully there's a restaurant. Opens at 12, supposedly closes at 10, so it'd be nice to get a meal there. And I saw the sign for a camping ground. Mind you, I saw a sign for a camping ground at the last place as well. But if there is a camping ground, I might just stay there at the foot of the mountain, hope the weather clears tomorrow. As you can see, I've got my umbrella up because there's not much wind because I'm in the trees, which is a lot more pleasant than having the rain drumming on my head. Typical, I walk along this road, there's absolutely no traffic. The minute I stop to go to the toilet, there's cars. So I couldn't do a normal photo at 2,000 kilometres because it was raining, and I still can't do a normal one at 2,010 kilometres because it's raining. So I'm under the shelter, so this is the best I'm going to get. There you go, 2010, done. It would have been nice to do something at 2000. That was a pretty big milestone for me, but never mind. After I came back from my injury, the 2,000 kilometres was my new target. So I was pretty chuffed yesterday to pass that target. So at the moment I am climbing up a forestry road, just leaving the valley down below, and once I'm up the top I'll be on a track for a little bit and then down the other side. So I've been carrying my umbrella this whole way, and Norway tends to be very windy, so there haven't been many occasions I can use it. But days like today, where I'm in the trees and sheltered from the wind, it's well worth the weight that I've carried all of this way to be reasonably dry instead of the miserable wet that I was yesterday. Just makes it so much more enjoyable walking. Even just not having that drumming directly on your head is just so lovely. So I'm actually enjoying this morning, though my left knee is hurting a bit. It's swollen up a bit. I've had a couple of long days, so I think the shorter day today will be good for it. But it's quite pretty being in pine trees for a change. It's quite neat being in the trees with the mist, and the camera's not showing the mist very well. Yeah, neat atmosphere. Found some blueberries. They're really swollen up. They're not a strong flavour. I think they've absorbed a lot of water, but haven't seen blueberries for a while, so I'm having a nice little snack to keep me going. So I'm going cross country because a trail that's marked on the map is not visible. And I double checked with GPS my position, and I should have been at the intersection. So I am just going to walk across, and I'm heading between two lakes, so hopefully I'll hit at least one of the lakes. But it's a nice forest to walk through. Now this looks lovely to walk on. The trouble is it's quite rocky underneath, and there's also some patches of very deep moss and lichen, so you sink in a bit. So it's actually quite tiring, but it's a nice change from being on a road. But my knee is not liking it at all, so I'm taking it very easy. Yeah, walking very slowly, taking a lot of care. And the mosses are very slippery as well. As you can see, there's nothing really holding it in place. Yet another thing to be careful of. So I made it to the gravel road, nice little cross country. Now I've got 4 kilometres on this gravel road, and then I meet up with a sealed road. So more road walking, but at least I had a little bit of cross country. But my knee is starting to get really sore. The cross country was not good for it. So I'm going to take it pretty easy. The road is mainly downhill, so there's no rush, so I'll take it easy. Coming back down through the pines again, and it's raining again. I had a nice period where it was relatively fine. In fact, most of the time that I was doing the cross-country part, but now I'm back on a track, it started raining again. So I am now on this road for the next 7 kilometres, and it actually looks like it's quite a busy road, especially there's a lot of trucks going backwards and forwards. The good thing, well at least here, I've got a nice space to pull off and get off the road while they go past. So it's a strange sight beside the road. Doesn't seem to be going to a house or anything, but there you go, brightly coloured moose antlers. It's a nice variety of colours, and there's even a polka dot over there.